Plants. The Green Frontier. These are the discussions of the podcast Horticult. Its continuing mission to talk about strange new cultivars, to seek out new flowers and plant them, to boldly garden like no one has before. Hello, podlings. This is Blaine. Welcome to the Horticult. We're going to get into episode number 33, and we are going to do it on water-wise cut flowers. Whoa, doggy. Give it a little bit of So we go over just a bunch of different types of flowers that you could use, different times of year, spring, summer, fall. And we just kind of talk about our experiences with each one, why we think they'll work, why we don't think they'll work. So, that's about all, folks. Hibbity, 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 hibbity. Let's get it on. I'm Blaine.
And I'm B. Radicast.
And together we are the Horticult.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but who would we be without our little podlings?
That's right.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Today's podcast, we're going to talk about cut flowers. What you can grow in your own yard to make your own bouquets. So these are just ones we like, ones we're familiar with, ones that are commercially available, but you could also grow them in your yard. And perennial, but some could be annuals. I mean, it's just all sorts of fun stuff. So just thinking, easy ones, old school ones, irises, peonies. Mm-hmm. I said it wrong.
The peony.
Peonies. I gotta say it with the A, not the E.
Oh, yeah.
Peonies. Peonies? We already went over this once.
Peony.
Peonies. A peony.
So the peony for me looks like a rose.
Yeah.
Kind of like a really giant double rose.
It's like a little extra fluffy round rose.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, nonetheless beautiful and would completely work for flower arrangement.
I don't know how well they do if you're thinking if you still want to do water-wise cut flowers, maybe we could engineer this to that, because then that would kind of narrow it down to something a little bit more. Irises could work for that. I mean, they're old school. I mean, I remember my mom calling them flags for Memorial Day, so you could take those. Those are the flowers that, I guess, before there was flower shops, you would take your irises to the cemetery, and that's what they would put on everyone's grave was the irises, and they'd call them flags. I'd never heard that before, so I was like, oh, that's cool. So, I mean, that's old school, though. I think those would I don't know where peonies are on the water consumption level. They're probably a little bit more heavier on the water take.
They seem to be.
Yeah, they are with tuber, or a perennial, so they come back. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they are. Do they have tubes or like an iris?
If I recall, they do. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But those, I've seen those in for commercial stuff. Not so much the iris, but definitely the peonies. I was thinking maybe some annuals. I mean, popular one, Snapdragon.
Snapdragon totally works. There's a status. That's I think that is a perennial, and it. The thing about status is you see it in flower arrangements, but when you see it in your yard, you're like, what the hell's that? It is kind of this really odd, funky, kind of bluish purple color flower, but they are freaking awesome in a floral arrangement. And the reason why is because of the durability or the longevity of the flower once it has been cut.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's
Good
one
choice.
thing. If you go with more drier plants, those flowers are going to last longer. I think the ones in my experience
They can tolerate.
they can tolerate it
less
longer.
water. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the other dry plants that you see a lot and can be used as cut flowers are the Shasta daisies. Great dry tolerant plants. Flowers more right now. I mean, they're starting to pop right now. So a little in the summer to late summer season time, and you can cut those, and they're great. They got nice tall stalks and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's a good one.
What about what I'm thinking of is kind of jumping back. One of my favorite cut flower arrangements are the spring bloomers. Your tulips, your daffodils, your hyacinth, maybe a little bit of fritillaria.
They don't last very long. It's a perfect idea just to cut them and bring them inside.
Just for like on a special day, you're off work and you're like, man, I'm going to bring a little bit of that fragrance inside, some of that color. It's kind of cool because you can put some of that red or yellow twig dogwood in there. The forsythia, that yellow forsythia while it's in bloom. Take advantage of flowering shrubs, your viburnums in the spring, your mock orange, even lilacs.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. That's what my mom would do, is bring in some lilac, and you can't smell it as good when you're out there. But when you bring it inside and it's just like in your face, that's really good.
Yeah. So that to me, cut flowers, that's what I've done the most of, and they give you some nice color and smell for probably 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
and you got to pitch them.
It makes sense though to like use those spring ones and bring them in where you're at mostly, because you still will be able to, walk past that flowering viburnum or whatever, the mock orange. But if you have it inside, then you fragrance your whole house. I think that's a much better connection to it because you're not always outside. You're only walking by it a couple times or whatever when you drive past it in the driveway or wherever your thing is. So get it, bring it inside where you are.
Yeah.
Then you could really enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And then some good summer ones, and you'd mentioned a fair amount, but it's the perennials. In my mind, I'm always thinking of like these perennials, and not every single perennial is going to give you a good cut flower, but think of usually a good arrangement is where there's long stems, right?
Yep.
Your long-stemmed Shasta daisy or Rudbeckia, the black-eyed Susan, or and then obviously if you're good with colors, you can think about a different color combination.
Yeah.
With your perennials.
I mean, like what would be something else? I mean, even like
delphinium.
Oh, delphinium is beautiful. Perfect. And because it's so long, gives you that height.
Yeah.
I've never seen foxglove in a arrangement, but I'm sure you could do it.
That would be a really
cool I wonder if it can't handle being cut, You cut it and it's like wilts.
Oh yeah. So what would your recommendation be as far as cutting it for the longevity of that flower? I mean, how would you go about it?
To make it last longer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to gather these up and then 30 minutes later plop them in a bucket of water.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe away from like a west or south facing window. Like keep them more
inside
yeah.
when they're inside. Yeah. Don't put them in the sun.
Yeah.
I've heard of people putting some sort of sugar in the water with it. And it'll like putting like some soda in it or whatever, like some Sprite. I've heard of that.
Serious? Wow.
I might have got that from
awesome.
movie. I may have got that from a movie. So I don't know how accurate that
out,
is.
Man, I want to try that
I mean, because it needs energy, right, to keep it going.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's in those packs. You know, when you buy them from the store and it's a little pack that you mix in the water. I have no idea what that is.
No, I don't either.
I don't even know if it works.
For some reason, just like the Sprite thing for you, I had heard that an aspirin, you drop an aspirin in there in your water, and it, I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Anyway, so yeah. But probably regular water changes too, if you want longevity. And the reason why would be just to help reoxygenate the water. You know, you don't want it to get stale and slimy and whatever.
I actually just switched out ours because it was looking kind of cloudy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good call. I didn't think of it as hygienic. I just thought it was like it looked better with the clean water.
Oh yeah. Well, it looks better, but then it also I think it provides oxygen in the water, just fresh oxygen.
Right.
You know.
I mean, really, you could basically use any flower as a cut flower. I was thinking about ones that I've used, like the African daisy. I've used that one quite a bit. And it's a little hardier. It lasts. The stem's not way long, so you have to have a shorter kind of a vase to put them in. But anything that will kind of help fill that in, you know, for your overall look of the design of your bouquet.
Fill the void.
Yeah. So have upper and lower and high. Upper and lower and high. What did I just say? So you like kind of build it up. You know, you structure it to build up to something.
Kind of triangulate.
Yeah. Or you just do a round, nice, all of them the same length, and that looks pretty good too.
Yeah.
But I mean, the perfect cut flower is the rose. How long has the rose been? You know, that's main reason that they've been so hybridized.
Yeah.
It's because they're good cut flowers.
Yeah, your 12. Yeah, your dozen roses for $20.
Yeah. And even like the crappy ones, like the I shouldn't say crappy, but the wood rose, you know, that's a water wise shrubbage, but it doesn't flower very long.
No.
So I mean, that would be a good time to get them and bring them in and have them in your house and fragrant it up.
Man, I wonder if you could actually increase the duration of it flowering by cutting it and bringing it inside.
You know, that's a good question. That's a good question. You should try that out.
Yeah. So also one that kind of comes to mind, it's not traditional for a cut flower arrangement, would be like penstemon.
Mm.
And there's penstemon lovers out there, and there's penstemon haters, and just kind of depends on where you are on that spectrum. But
that's true. I don't know where I fit because I've never really tried to grow it, but I took care of it when I was at the U, and I thought it was great. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the few super high drought resistant plants for Utah, and it's super colorful. I mean, a lot of the other plants that you can grow that use as little as water as the penstemon do not have that beautiful color.
Yeah.
So, and it's like bright, vibrant colors. It's not like, you know, kind of meek looking. It's
not
like
washed out
red.
Yeah. Yeah. My opinion is if it's planted in mass, I love it. You know, big swaths of that plant is just amazing.
But just by like a couple.
If there's just one in the middle of everything, you don't even see it.
Yeah,
gone. Let's see. Another thing, just a thought came to me as far as cut flower arrangement is utilize foliage, kind of like cool foliage plants.
Yeah.
Doesn't always have to be a flower to make a really good arrangement.
You know what I've seen in the stores, like when I'm walking through Costco, I'll walk through like the flowers or whatever and check them out. They use aspens a lot because they have. I mean, what is one thing that if you do like an aspen, what is it? It's the leaves.
Oh yeah.
So they twig out the little twigs of the aspen, and you have these beautiful little quaky leaves on it, and so it gives it that movement.
Oh, that's way cool.
Yeah, I guess you have to move it, but
yeah,
still, it's there. It's kind of cool.